Welcome to Chatting Chaps. This is episode 8. We're glad you're watching, whether it's on YouTube or Spotify. We're glad you joined us. We have a special guest with us here today. He, though he may not look like it, he is a former collegiate athlete who might have been immaturely called Tebow. He's a father to 3 and a husband. He's a PK, a preacher, pianist, drummer, singer, teacher, and one of my annoying close friends. Ladies and gentlemen, don't get too excited because this isn't the godfather of soul, Mr. James Joseph Brown, but we are delighted to have my good friend, James Russell Brown.
Woo! What an intro. What an intro. Didn't know he had that planned.
Well,
hey.
Prematurely called Tebow.
Sometimes you peak a little too soon sometimes. You never know. You never know.
You know, I don't think it was because of your playing style. It was looks at one time.
Lefty for the Gators.
Left-hand dominance is a big thing. Left-hand dominance is a big thing.
Was you number 15 also?
No.
10.
I was another 12. Greatest of all time. Another greatest of all time number. So
12.
It was kind of one of those deals. I always wanted to be 11. That was always Daddy's number. And it was like, I remember walking in one day and they were like, hey, what number you want? I was like, 11. They're like, we got a guy already got that number. But here's 12. And so I went home and kind of thought on it a little bit. And I was like, well, Tom Brady done okay for himself. So here I am.
I was kind of thinking of Brody Kroll. I don't know if you ever even know who that is.
I do.
But anyways, it's good to have you on here. This is short notice, but
very.
You just come in from a trip. Is that correct?
That is correct. I have been in. Some people love it. I hate it, but it's family time, so you go.
Casinos,
a little gambling. Yeah, no. We went to Destin, Florida.
Okay.
Spent several days down there.
That's good, man.
We had a good time. We go down there about once a year. Rent a pontoon boat one day with family, kind of like, spend a little time together, but the beach is not for me.
Yeah.
Me and sunlight, I don't like sunlight.
Yeah. Well, man, we're glad you made time for us for this episode. It's also good to have my co-host from Rising Sun, Maryland. I about have it memorized. He's MHS 2017 valedictorian. He's I don't forget it.
No, you don't.
He's Biden's neighbor. He's Bob Ross's #1 fan. He's Jeff Bezos' right-hand man. He's uncle to Laban and Cayman. He's Mike and Kim's favorite son-in-law. He's a preacher. He's a youth pastor. He's the editor of Azusa Weekly. He's a best-selling author. It's none other than my dear brother, Cooper Vance Chapman.
Well, thank you, Luke. Appreciate it. Just clap for myself there.
I kind of mixed
Good to be here. Good to be here.
You leave for camp in the morning. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah. Leaving early in the morning. Well, I say early.
Is it a 10-hour drive?
I think it's about 12 and a half.
Hours. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you taking time for this also. Just, a couple things we'll talk about here today. Get into some interesting stuff. First off, we mentioned this in a previous episode, but Brother James had a birthday a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Last year, the 20s, man.
Yeah, I'm kind of, easing into my 30s, but, one thing is still staying, I'm not aging like some, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some people hit their 30s and
you look fit as all get out, man.
I'm at peak right now. Some people, their athletic ability falls. I'm as good an athlete now as 29 as I was, 18. You'll see next week.
Yeah.
You'll see it next week.
You look like you're in the best shape of your life.
I mean, I can do all the things. I can hold a 40-hour week job, preach on Sundays, make it back for the next 40. Man, I'm might as well be world's strongest man at this point. You know?
Spend a week at youth camp.
Now, you know, that's going to be tough because I said, you know, last week, some of the guys I work with, shout out Cooperative Energy Substation crew, in case any of them watch this. I told them, man, it's going to be hot next week. And, you know, these actually people have to work out in the heat for a living, you know?
Yeah. You know, speaking of that, FLYC is one of the, it is the hottest place I've ever experienced on planet Earth.
It is. It is. Oh, yeah. And it's always going to rain on Wednesday. It's always going to rain Wednesday.
And, you know, you can kind of take this in the spiritual aspect of it that, man, we're getting these kids as close to hell as they can possibly get. So they want to go there, you know?
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
But we're in the month of June. I don't know if y'all know. It was another birthday yesterday, but we won't get into that.
Oh, man, might as well get into it.
Might as well. Happy birthday. Go ahead, James.
To you. I mean, there's already a video of me singing it one time. You know what I'm saying? It keeps resurfacing.
You know, I appreciate that. So, you know, a lot of people text me yesterday, Cooper, and but I had one of my close friends.
What?
Wait till today to text me happy birthday.
I thought you were coming out. I did text you.
No. It was none other than James Russell Brown.
he waited until today.
He waited till today to text me.
If I'm being honest, you know, I kind of like riding home today from the beach. Ain't really had much phone time. You know, out in the middle of the water, you don't have a lot of time to just be searching Facebook. You know, and then happened today. You know, all of a sudden stumbled across that Luke's birthday was yesterday, you know?
Well, it all depends on who's most important in your life. So,
well, I can't remember my own kid's birthday sometimes. So don't send me in to get medicine. The wife will be like, hey, go in and get the medicine. I'll go, okay, what's the kid's birthday? You know?
Yeah.
I got a general, like I can get within 30 days of when they were born. That's pretty good for me, you know.
I know what you mean, man. But we're in the month of June, and we have a special person in our life whose birthday is in 2 weeks. Our father is June the 14th, but we'll get to that on closer to his birthday. But you know, there's another person that has a birthday on that day, on June 14th, and
Greg Fisher.
Greg Fisher, and one other. It's none other than was he our 45th or
I think he's 45. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, our 45th president of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump.
Give him a hand of applause.
Donald J. Trump.
Making America great again.
Man,
trying his best.
So, speaking of Trump, for you that don't know, he was convicted on 34 felony counts. It's been a historic day yesterday. Listen, he was convicted by a New York jury, but I mean, it's Yankees. You know, Cooper knows.
Okay. That's true.
Yeah. I mean, no former president or major party presidential candidate has ever been a felon. You know, but he continues to climb in the polls. You know, I'm not like saying you have. Did y'all hear that? That was my ESPN app. I'm not saying you have to vote for Trump. I'm not saying be Republican or Democrat or whatever. I don't never tell who to vote for. I mean, like that's your own, your own opinion.
Yeah, you would never do that, Luke.
No.
Never.
But he sounds like a winner to me. You know. So I mean, you know, this isn't. We don't really get into politics on here, but you know, Cooper lives close to Joe Biden, and in fact,
I live in between. Like if he goes home to Delaware, I got him on this side of me. If he goes to the White House, I got him on the other side. So he's all around me.
And some don't know this. Can y'all still hear me?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Some don't know this, but he plays golf about just a few miles down the road from Cooper. And so him and Cooper just, you know, hit the links every now and then. And
yeah.
But I mean, you know, I'm not telling, you know, this is an election year. I'm not telling people who to vote for, whatever. That's not my place. That's not my business at all. But what do you think about our current president, Brother James?
He lacks just a small ability to just speak plainly sometimes. I mean, sometimes you just gotta say what's on your heart, you know. Maybe not what's on the teleprompter. Just speak from your heart, you know.
Pause. Yeah.
Yeah. Just.
Did you see that time he was talking? He was talking. He read the cue to pause, and he was like, pause. he was like, we want 4 more years. Pause, and then he kept on talking. Like, literally.
I mean,
at some point you got to look and realize, you know, are you really doing the best that you can do right now? You know, like, are you really shining? You know, you got to know when you're not the best at this thing. You know, you got to look at yourself and say, am I the best president I can be? You
and what amazes me is I heard a reporter this week or last week, giving giving Joe Biden just glory. I mean, just talking about the awesome job he's doing. I think he got awesome and awful confused. And but
may have read the teleprompter wrong.
You know, no doubt. You know, we actually have a video of Joe Biden.
I saw.
Let's play it.
I don't know where I am. As a matter of fact, I'd love to. You know, when we did that, I just wanted people to pay. All of it. No more freedom in this great country. Do you understand?
I mean, we lost Cooper. Was y'all able to hear that?
Oh yeah. My God.
Oh, yeah. Was you able, Cooper, you there? We can hear you, bud. That just gives you an example of the president that we have right now.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he there's definitely some problems. He needs prayer. But to be running again for 4 more years, I just don't know that we can handle anymore.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I don't think so either. I mean, as a, you know, Dublin, I mean, we all don't get to hold big positions, you know, big youth pastor positions and all, but some of us is just common work people, you know. As far as us working people and preaching, you know, I mean, you travel. Man, you're $3 a gallon. You know, you're trying to do what the Lord called you to do, or you're trying to provide for your family. $3 and something change a gallon. That lets you know right there. You know, Trump had it at what, $1 and something?
That's right.
What changed? We changed from one president to the next.
Right.
What changes so much, you know? I mean, I think just if you do 4 more years, I don't see how we can continue to make it. Not like the way it is.
Man, I'm telling you what. And I'm not telling anybody who to vote for.
No, you never do that.
Okay, so
do that.
I missed part of the video, and then I got a call, and I was.
Yeah. Would you like to watch it again?
Well, now I think I've seen that video before. I didn't hear all of it, so I wonder.
I didn't play some of that.
Okay. I was good. Man.
But you know, it's Uncle Joe. You know, he
Yeah,
just needs prayer.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, I guess
he's got to be the worst president ever.
What?
Like, really.
Ooh.
Like, legit. I mean,
Yeah.
is anybody close? It's horrible.
I mean,
Yeah.
really, if you're voting for him, there goes Cooper again.
Man, Cooper's checked out on us.
He's gone. I mean,
He's not dedicated to this podcast.
to me, if you're voting for Joe, you're voting for some ungodly things.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I mean, you can go through the whole. You talk about that scenario of it. Dude, you can just go down through there of things that he believes or that he supposedly stands for, and it don't line up.
no, it don't. But again, we don't
No.
politics.
You would never force anybody to do anything. I know.
No.
I've known you for a long time. You know. I mean,
I'm not a very demanding person.
no.
So
He may have a few other things that may cheat in a basketball game or so.
okay, we still got some grudges against that.
I mean, I am a faithful listener to the podcast, and I did happen to catch a few things last week that sort of caught my attention.
Yeah.
I mean, how quickly was to jump on Cooper last week?
Yeah, well, we'll get into some camp stuff in just a minute. If my battery life will be able to provide. We were just talking. We just said, Cooper. I mean, if you vote for Joe, you're voting for some ungodly things, but we would never tell anybody.
Never. No, I'd never tell anybody.
No. Some people just don't vote at all, and that's your business. But I will tell you.
Oh boy.
I'm a big fan of Trump.
You're kidding.
And I
really?
I'm blown away.
I'm going to show you why.
I've listened to the Chatting Chaps podcast, and look, it's terrific. It is just fantastic. These two young men are doing something really incredible here. I encourage you to go take a listen to Luke and Cooper's podcast.
Wow.
I mean, what more can you say? What more can you say?
That is a good man.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Notice the way he delivered that. Wasn't a man stumbling over a teleprompter. No. That was a man. He knew what he was doing.
He didn't have to say that.
No.
That's a man. That's a man that knows the death rate by people by getting hit in the head with a coconut. That's what you're talking about.
You have been listening.
Yeah.
I'm a faithful listener of the Chatting Chat podcast.
Listen. After listening to that video, just the support from our 45th president, and hopefully 47th.
Absolutely.
That's just unbelievable.
I mean, if we can get those people that voted last time that had been, passed away for several years, we can get them to vote this time for Trump. I think he'll go back in.
That's right.
Yep.
That's
Ain't
right.
no doubt.
That was the craziest thing.
Yep. I mean, that, he's going up. Like, ever since, all this, trying to make him a felon. I mean, listen, he's just jumping in the polls.
Yeah.
So he sounds like a winner to me. What you got?
I was gonna say it's crazy what they got him on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that was the thing. Like, it wasn't Russia. It was I don't know, like a document or something. Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, anyways, again,
they're after him.
Listen. To our viewers, you're a Democrat. You know what? That's your business. You're a Republican. That's your business. This is a podcast where you can watch and you can be Democrat. You can be, because we would never tell you who to vote for.
We'll pray for you.
We will pray for you,
Yeah.
especially if you're on the left side. But anyways, we'll move on. Brother James, next week
Come
is
on.
youth camp, and I'm just looking forward to it. Me and you have been friends a long time. Why we have been friends, I don't know. You were
Man, I can't figure it out either.
you were one of the worst friends I've ever had. But
Worst is a strong word. I'd say honest. Somebody's got to keep you grounded, man.
Well,
You know.
you're the big. I mean, we're a few weeks apart in age, but you are the big brother I never had. You are such a bully, always have been, but I love you.
I mean,
Next week's camp, and I remember last year, the first 2 days you did not speak to me.
huh?
Yeah.
No. I don't believe that.
I believe
Come on.
that.
Thank you.
I don't know that I
Thank
believe
you.
that.
You know, I'm going to miss my brother being there to make new
I will
memories
too.
with him.
Thank
You know, not Waffle House memories, but new memories. But he's got, you know, he's got his own little thing, his Yankee stuff going on, and so we're going to
I'll
miss
be
him.
in Georgia. I'll be in the deep south.
Yeah.
But how long have you been going to Fort Slate Youth Camp?
Me? I started going. I went the very first time when I was what's the starting age? 11 or 12 back then. Was it?
12 was yeah.
Yeah, I went with your Uncle Doug. He took me for the first time, and then I kind of went off and on.
Yeah.
Had a few years there where didn't get to go, and then I remember my brother went one year, and he was like, "Man, there's this guy down here dominating the sports," and I'm like, "Who is it?" He's like, "Oh, Luke Chapman, man. He got that most athletic boy." And man, he was just singing his praises. I was like, "Well, I'll tell you what, next summer, see if we can't put an end to that."
Who said
And,
that?
you know, my brother,
Man.
Matthew went down there one year and he come back. He's like, "Man, yeah, Luke, man, he's this big dominant athlete." And I'm like, undoubtedly something changed since the last time I seen him. And so I kind of started going down. So.
You know, I know you have that one story of you and your basketball team.
What one story?
4-on-4. But
I know it. Everybody knows it.
How many do we have, Coop?
Several. I can't count
several.
them, Luke. I can't count them.
I mean, hey, I'm just saying, every now and then, God looks down and He pours out a miraculous game on somebody.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
And that particular day, a certain individual just, put on a clinic, so to speak.
He did that. I don't even
Just
know.
leave. Just leave.
Well,
I can tell you who it was. I can tell you right now who it was.
I know who it was. I don't remember.
We'll
who
leave
was
it
on
right
my
there.
team.
It wasn't none of us.
Oh, I can tell you.
It was me,
you had
Ad, and
Ad
Drew, and was it you?
and
Coop?
Trey Whitaker.
Okay, yeah. I thought
Yeah.
Cooper was that year because I think it was Cooper. Yeah.
I remember. What was it? Bryce on your team?
Yeah, Bryce is the one that went off.
Yeah, that's who had the. I seen that awesome game.
But it was you, Bryce, Mathis, Bryce, the other.
Yeah,
Bryce.
yeah.
Oh, Bryce Tillman, yeah.
Because I remember guarding Bryce Tillman the whole game. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so,
shout out Bryce Mathis dominating that game.
Yeah.
But after that year, which we hadn't won before, but it's no big deal. We're not talking about how many we've won. We'll let you go in your one win.
I mean, we're not going to talk about the scrapes, the marks, the bruises. I know the Bible talks about being bruised for our transgression, but I had no idea that when I played Luke in basketball, that's what I'd be bruised from. Hey man, let me my foul.
Oh my gracious, that's all you say. All you talk about is fouling.
I will say this: Cooper Chapman always played an honest game. Cooper may sneak off to the Waffle House. Cooper may go to the Waffle House, but he's not going to cheat you in basketball.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Man. Well, man, you're married. You've got 3 kids. Just doing a wonderful job there at Beaumont Church of God, helping your father out, and just being an evangelist, preaching off, and
Woo! I mean, when you say it like that, man, it feels good. I mean, you hear that? He said doing a wonderful job.
Evangelist.
Yeah.
I've learned on these podcasts, you have
Brother Brown.
You have to compliment people, even though you don't mean it.
Yeah, you got to find something. You got to reach.
Yeah, you got to find. I mean, you got to find something to make it. But yeah.
But so how long have you and your wife been married?
We will be married 9 years in August.
How long has she been coming to Fort Slate?
This will actually be her second year. She went the first year we got married. She went to camp, and that was actually when we got home that end of that week. She was like, "Hey, I got a surprise for you," and she handed me a T-shirt, and it said, "You're going to be a great dad," or something. So the only time she ever got to go to camp was the week she found out she was pregnant with our oldest daughter, Riley Grace. So she hadn't got to go back since, but she's actually going to be with me next week. Shout out to the red team next week. Me and her is going to be team captains. So.
Can you give us one of your favorite camp memories?
One of my favorite camp memories. Can it be when I held up the number one finger to win the tournament?
I mean, that's the best thing. Yeah, if that's your favorite.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. For me, I've always just enjoyed camp. Some of my best times have been going to camp, so it's hard for me to really limit it to just one. I'd say probably one of my favorite camp memories was a night that my grandmother, before she had passed away, that was actually before, because me and Blake got married in August, and she passed away 2 or 3 weeks after we got married. But she had went to camp that following year, and the night speaker just seen her across the room, and he pointed for my grandmother, and he was like, "Come on!" And he just walked her around the stage and had her praying for the young people. And man, I just remember, as a young kid, growing up to see, for us, we've always felt like, we're not Chapmans, or whatever, it's nice to see people appreciate the work that your grandparents and grandpeople. So that, for me, I think that's one of my greatest memories, other than the blessings and all I received while down at camp, but
yeah, man, I remember that. I remember that night. That was a powerful night. I think that might have been the same night. 4 preachers laid hands on Cooper and just wouldn't let him go. It was that same week, I believe. The night speaker, I think Brother Scott Morris and Dad was all praying for Cooper. Because I think this was
it seems like
this was the same year you accepted the call to preach, but you was seeking, just making sure. I hate to tell you you're on.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that. I probably don't remember it because I didn't know who was praying for me.
Yeah.
But if it's what I think you're talking about, I mean, you don't even have your eyes open or anything to know Scott Morris is praying for you.
Oh, absolutely not.
If it's what I think you're talking about, I'm not sure. But I remember one night, Uncle Scott, some of my friends were praying for me. People were, and I remember I heard it. He told them all to back up, and everybody stopped praying for me. And he got a hold of me, and he grabbed me, and he picked me up off the ground, and I was like suspended in the air. But I think that was also like that year I was praying for the call to preach and such.
I've always said I don't know if Brother Scott prayed me through to the Holy Ghost or slapped it into me, because he just took his hands like this and just slapped me about 3 times on my ear, and I'm like, yeah, I guess he got it.
Yeah.
But now probably my funniest memory though was the morning with Zach Manning. I'll call him by name because this will be fun. Zach was like standing there praying, and I don't know whether he was going to sleep, whether he was praying, what he was doing. But dude just fell forward like he was falling out. And Coop, I just kind of held him and like just laid him down on the floor. And when he woke up, he was like, "Man, I have an outer body experience." I'm like, "Did you, man?" He's like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "Man, I felt like an angel was just laying me down on the carpet." I'm like, "Bud, it wasn't no angel, bud. It was me. I was tired of you laying on me." He just fell over on me. I'm like, boom! I just threw him in the floor.
Man. Well,
Gently.
Zach's not here to defend himself, but what I will say is those morning services can get rough.
Oh,
As far
ain't no
as
doubt.
being tired, and
Oh yeah,
but
Oh yeah.
there's been some powerful ones.
absolutely,
But
absolutely.
Brother James, you're a preacher's kid, and I just want to get your thoughts of what it was like for you being a preacher's kid. Your grandfather was the pastor of the church that y'all attend, Brother Edgar Brown, and his wife, and your grandparents. They were highly respected, just great men and women of God. And now your father's the pastor of Beaumont Church of God, and I know you do a lot of stuff in the church, not only being a preacher in the church, but because you're the pastor's son and you have a family, and I know what that's like as far as being under your father and working and doing different things. But I want to kind of hear from you of what it was like being a preacher's kid and to where you're at now.
Well, I guess for us it was a little different. Daddy never done the, I guess, quote unquote evangelist. Whenever he was coming up, he always done more seem like filling in position, which is kind of what at times I feel like I'm doing. I feel like I'm kind of like, a pastor being out or a pastor resigning. I come in and kind of preach and fill the gap till they get somebody. And so that was kind of the way ours always was. Daddy would go around and, man, you may stay 6 or 8 months at one place, fill in, then they get somebody. Then it was like we just kind of move on to the next, and so that was kind of the way it was for us coming up. So we built relationships along the way, and with Grandpa, it was always like we always had a stable place to come back to, and that was one thing I remember that as a kid I didn't appreciate as much, but now as I'm older I see, it's good. And even now we travel with our singing group, and with us going off, Daddy lets us go off and preach. Oh, excuse me, whenever we get called or whatever. And so you go off, and it's good to always know that you always got a good, steady foundation to come back to. And that was what Grandpa always wanted. He's like, you got to have church here when nobody else wants to have church, or, so to speak, And so we had those times, and now it's still the same thing. Daddy keeps it going, and if he's gone, we go. And so I'd say for us, ours was a little different than probably what y'all's was. I know your daddy traveled and done a lot whenever y'all were coming up. So that was more what we done. And you develop those relationships with each of those churches. I know last year I filled in at a church last year, and I was there for probably 6 months. And you build those relationships with those people that you'll have forever. You may not see them all the time, but after 6 months, you're seeing them Sunday night, Wednesday. You develop that relationship that it seems to bring you closer together than what you normally would have, So that was kind of what ours was coming up. Now, I didn't like it. I always was said, I never liked to go, and I hated going other places. I hated going. I always was just waiting to get out because I didn't like the thought of church, and now here I am. So good Lord works in mysterious ways sometimes.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
That's right. Well, man, we love your family. For you that don't know, me and Brother James have been close for a long time, and his brother Brother Matthew and my brother have been just as close for probably the same amount of time or even longer, and we're more like family than we are friends, and we appreciate you guys and the work that you're doing. If you need a singing group, this is a wonderful family, anointed singing, and if you're needing a pastor, if your church needs a pastor, this is the guy right in the middle, right here. He's him and his family. They could be the first family of your church.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Their kids are wonderful kids only because they act like their mother. And so no, I'm kidding. But me and Brother James has been through a lot. We went to neighboring high schools, and both struggled as far as admitting, submitting to are just devoting our lives to Christ, and but we've come a long ways. But we're not going to get into any of that.
No. We ain't got time for that.
We don't have time for it.
I'll say this. This shows what kind of friend Luke Chapman is. We were playing basketball one time in high school, and I remember running down the floor, and there was a guy booing me. I'm talking about just, oh, man, you're awful. Look up. It's my best friend, Luke Chapman. So he says I'm hard on him. That's kind of how we got started, you know?
Yep. Yep. I think it was a in-school game, and y'all had come down. And,
nothing better like an in-school game.
Yep. And I was hollering Tebow. You were trash.
Yep.
Nah, man.
It was something along that line.
Nah, I'm just kidding with you. But Brother Cooper, do you have a question for him? Anything you want to add?
Nah, I didn't prepare a question. I didn't really know that we were having James on here today.
Makes two of us.
But man, I do appreciate you. I'm a lot closer to Matthew, but I appreciate. I appreciate you. I really do.
I was going to say.
And honestly, I do look up to you. Appreciate you. You're a wonderful role model when you're not being stupid. And I love and appreciate you, man.
I'll say this about Cooper. I always remember Cooper the first time I met Cooper. Well, I say I met Cooper. Remember Cooper was we play those 3-on-3 games out there. This was back when, shout out to them old cats that couldn't play when we play out there. Matthew Morris, Justin Overstreet, really trying to get who's the other? Brandon McMillan. Brandon McMillan's still in my back pocket back here where I used to beat him. Jason Merritt. Who else is on? Who else is them older hands that, that was back when the counselors couldn't dominate the campers.
Scotty Allen, Brother Scotty.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Brother Scotty. Could not handle us, especially in the basketball. And I remember Cooper would stand over there. Him and Logan Allen would holler. Yeah, absolutely. They would holler like Larry Bird. Cooper would holler Larry Bird.
I remember that.
Yeah, that's like the only thing I remember. I remember Cooper would go, "It's Larry Bird right there," and I can't remember what he would call me, but there was two people. Him and Logan Allen would holler off.
Yeah.
And so that's like my first memory of Cooper that I remember. It always sticks with me.
I forgot about that. Yeah, we were out there on the outside court, and it was you. I can't remember who the other person was.
I can't remember who it was either.
It was Larry Bird, and I don't know, Michael Jordan or somebody else.
Yeah. Cooper would always holler that. Cooper would be faithful though. He'd stay right there at the end of the game, and he'd holler that every time you score. That's Larry Bird.
And with James, he'll keep shooting me if he hears that. But man, I saw where your Florida Gators baseball, they're doing good.
And the Lady Gators. Don't forget to shout out my Lady Gators.
Yeah.
They are
baseball players Oklahoma tonight, right?
Oklahoma State.
Okay.
Yeah. They actually started about an hour ago.
Man, that's awesome. I'm glad y'all are able to finally, succeed in something.
Hey, I mean, everybody can't be good at, you gotta spread the wealth, Some people are just good at football, and you don't hear about them until next football season. I mean,
well,
I hate to say this, Florida Gator 2-time back-to-back cross-country track and field champions.
Nah, man. Florida had their run in football with Tebow. And maybe they'll get back on track, but
y'all had that guy. What was his name? Used to coach for y'all. Makes the FLYC commercials now. That's all he's got going for him.
What's that guy's name?
Rick Saban? No. Nick Saban.
Is it Don Staley? No, that's the basketball coach. That's right.
No, man. It was tough losing him, but I think they made the best hire in the country in Kalen DeBoer. And
I mean, if you want somebody that's never won anything, get him, hire him. Oh
my goodness.
I mean, Boy, we got a steal in him. What's he won? Nothing. Man went to the championship and lost. Yeah, let's get this guy.
Well,
yeah, I mean, he finished first in the losers category. You need to get a winner. Somebody that.
Well, the winners
get
didn't want to come.
like. Yeah, they're too busy at these other schools.
Hey, listen,
Lane Kitchen's throwing a clipboard somewhere.
I remember when we had Mike Shula, and I think it was Mike Price, and
I think you're right back there again.
What I don't.
Do like the Saints and cut you a hole out of a brown bag, babe.
No, we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. But it's tough losing Nick Saban, but I think we'll be just fine. But I will say we were spoiled as fans long, and all the championships and dominating. But whether win or lose from here on out, well, we lost him.
Lost James.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. I hope his phone didn't die. But anyways, I bet it did too.
It was good having you.
Hey James, it was good to have you, bud. I'm sure you'll be watching this later. Man, I know you got to get packed. You got to get going, and if you're not already packed. But y'all got a long trip tomorrow, and we'll be praying for you guys. Hope y'all have a wonderful camp.
Man, I appreciate it. Y'all's is not this week, but it's the next week, right?
Next week, yep. Yep. So,
yeah, man.
I guess we're going to send it out.
I guess that. I'm not sure James is coming back.
I got 2%.
I don't know what happened.
All right, man. This is Chatting Chaps. Hey, James. It was good having you, bud.
Good having you, buddy.
I hate you left like that. Hey, listen, people, don't be upset at us. This is just a clean podcast, Chatting Chaps. We're not telling you what to do at all. All right? We don't get into politics at all. Okay.
We're not telling.
We're not telling you at all. Listen, we just, just have our guy. Hopefully the 45th will become the 47th. And, that's just, look, don't hate on us.
Hopefully, Luke.
Our country's in a mess.
It is.
President ain't going to help it. We just need Jesus.
Hey.
We need Jesus. Amen. All right, bud. I love you, man. Hope you
I love you too.
You
too, man. Thank you so much.
This is Chatting Chaps. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. We love reading your comments. And we may not see you next week. It's going to be a busy week next week, but we got a couple guests lined up, and we're going to keep this thing rolling. We'll see you next week. This is Chatting Chaps.